welcome viewers. Today we are going to study chapter number 1 of class 9 mathematics, matrices and determinants. चैप्टर को शुरू करने से पहले हमें पता होना चाहिए कि मैट्रिक्स क्या होता है. And define matrix is a very important short question from the point of view of board. अब मैं definition read करूँगी मैट्रिक्स की class 9 की बुक से on page number 2. A rectangular array or a formation of a collection of real numbers, say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 7, such as, this should be written as 1, 3, 4. This is called a rectangular array or a formation of collection of real numbers, and then enclosed by brackets, by these square brackets like this. So this is said to be a matrix. Okay. Now I'm going to read the introduction on page number 2. Who gave the idea of matrices? The idea of matrices was given by Arthur Cayley. He gave the idea of matrices in 1858. He was an English mathematician of 19th century who first developed the theory of matrices. Now we know what is a matrix, so we'll proceed for other types of matrices and other properties of matrices. First of all, the most important thing we should know about a matrix is its row and column. मैट्रिक्स में रो और कॉलम क्या होता है? जो सी एंट्रीज हॉरिजॉन्टल वे में प्रेजेंट होती हैं मैट्रिक्स में उन्हें हम कहते हैं रो. हॉरिजॉन्टल entries, and the vertical entries are called column. So what do we mean by the entries present in a horizontal way? इसका मतलब ये है horizontal way is like this, going like this. It is horizontal. So these are the horizontal entries. And what is the meaning of column? Take another matrix. So these are the columns. Now there were two rows in this matrix. We can count 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 2 rows. And there are 3 columns in that matrix. 3 columns. Now how are matrices denoted conventionally? So matrices are denoted by capital letters or capital alphabet. And capital alphabets like A, B, C, G and so on. So we can say that this is matrix A and that one is matrix B. Now we have come across row and columns of a matrix. Now the next thing we are going to study are order of a matrix. And this is very important. We should know what are the orders of matrix, and they will be helpful in multiplication of matrix and in every question we need to solve. Order of a matrix. The number of rows and columns in a matrix specifies its orders. For example, take a matrix M, and this matrix is equal to 1, 1, 2, 0, and 3, 2. So this is the matrix M we are having, and now we have to find the order of a matrix. नंबर ऑफ रोज और नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स की मदद से हम ऑर्डर निकालेंगे मैट्रिक्स का। अगर हमसे कोई पूछे इसका ऑर्डर क्या है, तो हम सबसे पहले देखेंगे, ये बताने के लिए हम सबसे पहले देखेंगे कि इसमें रोज कितनी है। सो हम देख सकते हैं रोज का मतलब है हॉरिजॉन्टल एंट्रीज। सो हाउ मेनी हॉरिजॉन्टल एंट्रीज डज इट हैव? 1 and 2. So it has 2 rows. And how many columns? Vertical entries does it have? 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 3 columns. 2 by 3 is the order of this matrix. After remembering how to find out the order is R by C. What does it mean? Number of rows by number of columns. अगर आप पहले number of columns लिख दें और बाद में number of rows लिख दें, then it would be totally wrong. If you write it like this, 3 by 2, then it would be wrong. 3 by 2 matrix means that the matrix is like this. 3 by 2 means that it has 3 rows and 2 columns. So this is wrong. We have to write 2 by 3. पहले हम लिखेंगे number of rows into number of columns. Let's take another example. First of all, we'll take another matrix. Matrix number n, and it has 1, -1, 2, 2, 1, 3, 4, 0, 6. Now we have to find out the order of this matrix n. अब इसका ऑर्डर हमें कैसा निकालना है? It's very easy. हमें पता चल गया है कि ऑर्डर हम कैसे निकालते हैं, नंबर ऑफ रोज बाय नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स. नंबर ऑफ रोज मतलब एंट्रीज which are present in horizontal ways, and columns means entries in a vertical way. So first of all, we'll see how many rows does this have. This matrix have 1, 2, 3. It has 3 rows. And how many columns does this matrix have? 1, 2, 3. It has 3 columns and 3 matrices. So the order is 3 by 3. I hope this topic is clear. Now we will move towards the next topic, which is equal matrices. Equal matrices is an important short question from the point of view of papers of board. Equal matrices. Suppose we have 2 matrices A and B. A is said to be equal to B and denoted as A is equal to B if and only if the order of matrix A is equal to the order of matrix B, first condition, and second condition, their corresponding entries are equal. Let's take an example of the book on page number 3. We have a matrix A which is equal to 1 minus 4, 3 and 2. And the next matrix we have is B is equal to 1 minus 4, 2 plus 1, 4 minus 2. Now we have to see if these matrices are equal. So there were 2 conditions for equal matrices. और वो कंडीशंस क्या थी कि ऑर्डर ऑफ मैट्रिक्स ए शुड बी इक्वल टू ऑर्डर ऑफ मैट्रिक्स बी, फर्स्ट कंडीशन, एंड सेकंड कंडीशन देयर कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग एंट्रीज शुड बी इक्वल. सो व्हाट डज इट मीन बाय कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग एंट्रीज? इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर एक मैट्रिक्स की फर्स्ट एंट्री है, मतलब फर्स्ट रो की फर्स्ट एंट्री एंड फर्स्ट कॉलम की फर्स्ट एंट्री, तो सेकंड मैट्रिक्स की भी फर्स्ट रो की फर्स्ट एंट्री और फर्स्ट कॉलम की फर्स्ट एंट्री इक्वल होनी चाहिए. सबसे पहले हम इन दोनों मैट्रिक्स के ऑर्डर देखेंगे. मैट्रिक्स ए का ऑर्डर क्या है? वी नो दैट द फॉर्मूला फॉर फाइंडिंग ऑर्डर इज नंबर ऑफ रोज बाय नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स. सो इट हैज 2 rows and 2 columns. Same is the case with matrix B. It has 2 rows and 2 columns. The order of matrix A, and this is the order of matrix B. We can see that both have the same order. So our first condition of having same order of both the matrices is verified. Now next condition for equal matrices is their corresponding elements must be equal. So we have to see if the corresponding entries of both matrices are equal. First entry is 1 and here in B matrix it's also 1. So it's equal. Now it's -4. In B matrix is also -4. In A matrix this entry is 3. So this entry should also be 3. Is it 3? Yes, it is 3. How? When we will add this matrix, I'm going to solve here, it will be like 1 minus 4. 2 plus 1 is 3 and 4 minus 2 is 2. Now we have solved the matrix and now we have to see that the entries, corresponding entries of both the matrices are equal. So matrix A is equal to matrix B. When the both conditions, there are 2 conditions for equal matrices. When the 2 conditions are verified, then the matrix A is equal to matrix B. Now there are some questions given in exercise which could be easily solved. Now the equal matrices are clear. I will move towards the next topic. Okay, so the next topic we are going to study is types of matrices. Types of a matrix. Matrix की कितनी types हैं? So there are total 12 types of matrices which are given in the book. The first type is row matrix. What is a row matrix? I'm going to read the definition from the book. Page number 4 of textbook. A matrix is called a row matrix if it has only one row. So, if a matrix has only one row, then it is called row matrix. For example, 2, 1, 4. These are the three entries present in a matrix in horizontal way you can see. So how many horizontal entries are there? Only one. We can see that there is only one row. Number of rows should only be one in a row matrix, but number of columns can be more than one. Like how many columns are there in this matrix? 1, 2, 3. There are total 3 columns and 1 row. The condition for a matrix to be a row matrix is that it should have only one row. It can have more than one columns but one row. We can see another example of a row matrix, which is we can see there are 5 entries present in this matrix and number of row is 1. But how many columns are there? 5. So this is a row matrix. It should have only a matrix should have one row to be a row matrix. A row matrix is a matrix that has only one row. Now our next type of a matrix is column matrix. Column matrix क्या होता है? I will read the definition from the book. A matrix is called a column matrix if it has only one column. एक matrix को column matrix कहते हैं अगर उसका सिर्फ one column हो. Only one column. Let's take some examples. 4, 1, 6. So we can see that there is only one column in it. Condition for a column matrix is that it should have only one column. The number of columns should be 1, but the number of rows can exceed 1. कॉलम सिर्फ एक होनी चाहिए लेकिन नंबर ऑफ रो 1 से ज़्यादा हो सकती है. नंबर ऑफ रोज से फर्क नहीं पड़ता कॉलम मैट्रिक्स में. कॉलम मैट्रिक्स में सिर्फ 1 कॉलम होना चाहिए. कॉलम शुड बी ओनली 1 और रोज ज़्यादा हो सकती हैं. जैसे इसमें 1 कॉलम है एंड 3 रोज हैं. 3 रोज से फर्क नहीं पड़ता. हमें सिर्फ देखना है कि नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स कितने हैं. सो देयर इज 1 कॉलम, इट मींस इट्स अ कॉलम मैट्रिक्स. Now the next type we are going to study is rectangular matrix. Rectangular matrix. A matrix is called rectangular if number of rows is not equal to the number of columns. Suppose this is a matrix A. So this is a matrix A. Condition for the rectangular matrix is that number of columns, number of rows equally होने चाहिए, number of rows, number of columns equally होने चाहिए. सबसे पहले हम इस मैट्रिक्स का ऑर्डर देखेंगे. इस मैट्रिक्स का ऑर्डर है 1 2 3
अजान ब्रेक
by 2.
अजान मगरिब अजान
ओके, हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे रेक्टेंगुलर मैट्रिक्स. तो रेक्टेंगुलर मैट्रिक्स की कंडीशन क्या है कि नंबर ऑफ रोज नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स के इक्वल नहीं होने चाहिए. सबसे पहले हमने ऑर्डर लिख लिया है कि इसका ऑर्डर क्या है. सो देयर आर 3 नंबर ऑफ रोज एंड देयर आर 2 नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स. ऑर्डर से हमें पता चल जाएगा कि कितनी रोज हैं और कितनी कॉलम्स हैं. इसलिए इसके लिए हमारे लिए आसान हो जाएगा रेक्टेंगुलर मैट्रिक्स को आइडेंटिफाई करने को. So that now we can see that 3 and 2. It means that number of columns and number of rows are not equal. So that's why this matrix is a rectangular matrix. हम एक और एग्जांपल दे सकते हैं. मैट्रिक्स वी हैव. अब हमने देखना है कि इसमें कितनी नंबर ऑफ रोज हैं, कितनी नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स हैं. वी कैन सी इसमें 4 नंबर ऑफ रोज हैं एंड 3 नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स हैं. सो नंबर ऑफ रोज आर नॉट इक्वल टू नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स. सो दिस इज अ रेक्टेंगुलर मैट्रिक्स. So the next type of matrix we are going to study is square matrix. Square matrix is a matrix which has equal number of rows and equal number of columns. So a matrix is called a square matrix if it has equal number of rows and equal number of columns. Or we can say if its number of rows are equal to its number of columns. For example, we will take a matrix A. So we can see that the number of rows over here is 2. And number of columns 2. It means that number of rows is equal to its number of columns. So we know that if the number of rows is equal to its number of columns, so it is a square matrix. Let's take another example B. and one column. It has one row and one column. So it means that number of rows are equal to number of columns, and this is also a square matrix. Now we will move towards the next type of matrix, which is null or zero matrix. These types of matrix are very important, and they can come in the papers like define this matrix. If there are any questions, you can ask in the comment. So next is null or zero matrix. So a matrix M, for example, we will take a matrix M. A matrix M is called a null matrix if all the entries present in the matrix are 0. You can see that I have written a matrix and all the entries are 0. So that type of matrix which have all entries equal to 0 are called null matrix or zero matrix. We will take another example. It has entry 0, so it is another zero matrix. Another example. It also has all entries equal to 0, so ये भी एक null या zero matrix है, null or zero matrix. Now null matrix or zero matrix is represented by O. Null matrix or zero matrix is represented by O, capital O. Now the next matrix we will move towards is transpose of a matrix. How is transpose of a matrix is obtained? And in your exercises, a question is also come to find the transpose of a matrix A or following matrix.